Good afternoon from Nampo, Cape. It is the 13th of September and it is a wonderful occasion here in Bredasdorp where we have a group of farmers, companies, technology suppliers and banks for that matter that come together in support of the agricultural sector. Today I'm lucky enough to speak to Russell Luck, who Russell and I go back some way, and he is, I guess, a new brand of entrepreneurs where technology is coming to the fore. And you know, I really feel that technology has a massive role to play in this sector, and Russell and his team have done some really good stuff. So I'm going to ask Russell about what he does. He is the CEO and founder of swiftVEE and swiftVEE, and I'm going to ask him just to talk about his business and more so about how he feels it can change the face of agriculture going forward.
Sure thing. Great to be here, John, and we would love you to have a chat. So yeah, I'm the CEO of swiftVEE and swiftVEE. For those listening, swiftVEE is an online livestock trading platform. We're the largest trading platform in Africa in this space, and we digitize the sales side of the purchase of livestock. And then swiftVEE is a retail inputs platform. So a farmer traditionally would have to go to a retailer, and now they also have the option to source their agri inputs online via our new app swiftVEE. So in terms of the role of technology and kind of what we've done in the ecosystem, we find that agriculture is incredibly important and robust as an industry. People have to eat, but the way business happens changes. And we've seen other sectors, online was nothing new. Things transformed in the 90s and 2000s. And now we're seeing that agriculture must do the same. And so there's a lot of room to kind of innovate in that space. And I always just believe if you're adding value to the farmer, the market will reward you. So swiftVEE, we sell more livestock in greater quantities than previously just in the brick and mortar space. With swiftVEE, we can source any input, unlimited choices, and add value to the farmer by saving money and providing a greater variety of inputs. And it's an exciting space to be in. And yeah, I think the future is very, very bright for agriculture in South Africa. The big thing, of course, is that we need banks. We need the big financial institutions to join hands with in kind of building that digital future. And that's something that I can certainly commend Nedbank in. You guys have been very innovative in that space, and very exciting things to follow, I would say.
Yeah, thank you, Russell. But if I take you back a few years to when you started,
sure.
It couldn't have been easy because you're trying to prove your use case. You're trying to prove that value that you spoke of to whether it's clients or other stakeholders like banks.
Absolutely.
But just talk about those early years in terms of founding the business.
Sure.
And where it is today.
100%. So, I mean, you know, when we started, I was a technology lawyer by background, and I went from technology law. I believe that the future many years ago will be defined by AI, food and space. So AI will disrupt most of the jobs in the developing world. As populations rise, you've got to produce food in greater quantities and you use less space with which to do so. And that's where I thought Africa would always be the strongest. So when I looked to exit out of law with a technology opportunity, I thought agri-tech must be the way to do it. So that was the idea. Then, of course, I looked overseas and saw guys who were doing online livestock trading, and I thought I'm going to bring that here. And people thought I was totally from out of space, like Russell. You don't speak Afrikaans that well, or Xhosa, and you have the traditional languages, you have no agri background. This is so not the kind of thing that people are going to go for in South Africa. And so it took a lot of convincing, and it took a lot of educating the market. But then kind of we got there, and guys kind of saw the value. Instead of going to an auction, I can buy online from anywhere. We had traction. And from launching in 2019, we've grown 100% year on year. We've expanded from South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, facilitated trade with buyers from the United States, Europe, UAE, Asia, and really grown from strength to strength, yeah.
So that's gone from strength to strength, as you say. But it must have meant that you had some anxious moments when people were not supportive and you were treading on toes.
Absolutely.
So tell me a bit about that, and do you feel now that it is more accepted, and what is the future?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, in the beginning we treaded on lots of toes. Going out to the farms and things like that, especially with the internet conditions in Africa and load shedding later on, etc. People just thought this is not going to happen, and traditionally the livestock agencies who really have all the relationships for years and years, they were very skeptical and resistant. But when we kind of explained that our role is not to compete, it's to partner, and we want to be a platform business that helps all these agencies to connect greater buyers, and we don't want to cut them out of the value chain. That was a big turning point, because I've always believed business is collaborative and agriculture is collaborative, and markets work best when you join hands, not when you kind of try smash each other down. So from starting out where there was resistance, kind of gradually we gained traction, and here we are today. And I think the future of all business, since when we started, we've seen other startups come into the mix as well, and more there is a greater uptake of technology. Younger farmers and agri players are coming into the mix, and as that happens, naturally there's just a exponential uptake of technology, which I think is not going anywhere. It's only going to get stronger and more important.
Yeah, I've certainly found that the uptake of technology has been pretty good by farmers. If you look over time, probably scale, sure, but also the technology that they've taken on board has helped them to stay in the game, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So I think from there's been this continual cost price squeeze that farmers have faced, and technology has played quite a big role in sort of combating that, So I think to a large extent farmers are very willing to uptake technology. So possibly my last question is then, what is the role of Nedbank or banks in general, and where do they fit in here?
So the role of all banks should be to think out the box and find new ways to service their clients, because really what a bank is they serve people by providing finance. And I've seen that certain banks are much more resistant to innovation than others. Certain banks talk a good game but don't play one, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here with you and we go back a long time, but Nedbank really has been in many ways an innovator and a leader, especially in the agri space, aerobotics back in the day, and many others that Nedbank seems to support. I think Nedbank has always had its eye on innovation and companies that are movers and shakers, and certainly are prepared to put their money where their mouth is and join hands to build an innovative future, ultimately guided by service and building better markets.
Yeah, thank you, Russell. But it is no doubt in my mind that Nedbank is really doing its best to participate in this space. So from a technology and also innovation perspective, we do see it as the way of the future. We are finding our feet, I think forming partnerships, looking at how we do things better going forward is certainly part of our thinking. So that willingness is there, and yes, I would like to think that we are showing it through our actions as well.
Absolutely.
So we look forward to future discussions with both swiftVEE and PraceVase, and best of luck as you move forward.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Okay.